everyone and welcome back to a new writing vlog. I have not framed myself super well today, but that happens, that's fine. Today is the 14th of January, so this will be going up a bit after the fact. But today I'm aiming to write 10,000 words today, and my stretch goal is 15,000. So have I done this before? Yes, I have had a few 10k days, 1 or 2 15k days in my whole writing career, and back in November for NaNoWriMo I did 2, I believe 12k days, somewhere in that zone at least, and I want to do another one. Now I want to preface this by saying 3 things. 1, I am not saying that this is necessarily a good idea, nor am I saying that it is a one-size-fits-all. Some people need longer to work out their stories, and it depends on what draft you're on and stuff. I am working on my first draft of this story, and for me, I just want the words out on the page. I want the story to take shape, to exist. And then during a later draft, I would probably spend a bit more time fleshing it out and stuff, but now I'm building the skeleton, basically. Second of all, I know that I am a fast typer. Does this matter? In a way. I know that I can type a lot of words a minute and a lot of words an hour per sprint, no matter what thing you want to measure this by. I know that I can do a lot in that time. Physically, I know that my fingers and my brain can do that. That's also not true for everyone, but just because I can write a lot in, say, 15 minutes, doesn't mean I always do, because there is also the influence of inspiration and motivation, and if you don't have that, or if I don't have that, sometimes things don't go as well as I want them to, and I don't get as many words as I want. And there's always the risk of getting stuck. You can be however motivated and inspired as you want and as you can be, but you can still get stuck. Something can come up either outside of your writing, just in life, or something will happen in your story that you didn't plan for, or that you didn't realize was going to be as big of a deal as it is, or it just results in a really big plot hole that you don't know how to fill at this point, and you might want to stop and think and fill this plot hole in at that point. And third of all, I am working off of an outline for this story. I've got it here. It is a few pages long. It is the 3-act, 9-block, 27-chapter method. I'll have it linked down below when I discovered this through Katatastic many years ago. See how old that video is? And it was probably like 6 months after that, 6 months to a year. So yes, I am working off of an outline this time. Can that affect the speed at which you write? Possibly. But I've also done this outline free. I've done this as a full-on pantser where I didn't even know where the story was going to end. So these 3 things are definitely not guarantees. They are not things that you need to have or do to be able to do this. Now it is currently about 12:30 in the day, and if I'm going to manage to write 10,000 words today, and I want to end today at like 9 at the latest, I need to average 1,333 words an hour, 34 words per hour. And if I want to do the 15,000 words, I need to average 2,000 words an hour. I know that I can physically do that, but I am also gonna, during this writing session, I am also gonna have lunch at some point and cook and eat dinner. Lunch is in the fridge, I can just heat that up. But I will have to do that. I will have to go to the bathroom occasionally and those things, but I do think I can do it, and I want to take you along and show you how it's done or how I do it. Again, it's not a one-size-fits-all, and yeah, let's go. So before the writing even begins, I like to prepare a few things. First of all, I always have water, not necessarily in a water bottle, but I always have water because I don't drink tea or coffee, and staying hydrated is really important to me. Second of all, I make sure to have my phone or another device on which I can time myself. I have my timer up right now. And for music, I don't know why, but I don't like using music off of my computer when I write. Even though I write on the computer, I prefer having it on my phone. That's a preference thing, you don't have to follow that. Third, I recommend being comfortable, wearing comfortable clothes, sitting in a comfortable position, but also ergonomically correct position, which I'm not the best at that. And having a blanket if you need it, having mittens. I have my fingerless gloves that I tend to wear because my hands get very cold, and also having an emotional support friend, if you can. That can be a cat, it can be a dog, it can be a partner, it can also be plushies. I have Angel over here. I'm gonna lean over and grab Angel. This is Angel. Or, as I came to discover in November, cacti. Yes. Yes. Now, whether or not they actually help you write is debatable, but I like having them just because, I don't know, and I think it's part accountability and part being able to turn to and go, what am I doing? Why doesn't this work? Please help me. I need a hug. You know, you can judge me all you want for that, but that's how I work. I also track my words. I have a LibreOffice calc file or an Excel file, depending on what you want to use. I'm sure there's a Google version as well. And the way I do it is I put in the number of words I write and the time that takes me. This works well for me because I tend to sprint, and so if I set the timer for 15 minutes, I know that I've been writing for 15 minutes and I put in how many words I did. I do this because I want to see how well I do. And some 15 minutes you can get almost like twice as much as you do other 15 minutes, and that ties into what I said before about getting stuck and being motivated and all those things. So I do that, and like I said, I tend to write in sprints. Sprints work really well for me. I enjoy them. They work really well because I dedicate myself for that set amount of time. And today, aiming for 10 or 15,000 words is going to be a lot of sprints. But yes, let's do this. I have just finished my first sprint. I decided to do a 15-minute sprint during which I got 835 words. I am not super happy. I am surprised that the word count is actually that high because it didn't feel like that. It felt a bit like an uphill climb. I am not really certain that this part is staying, and now I'm trying to connect two different things in a way that sort of makes sense, but I don't really know how to do that at the moment. So this bit is not very good, but I did get 835 words and I'm very happy with that. So I'm already starting to feel hungry, which maybe I should have had lunch before I even started this, but it's fine. I'm thinking I'll do one more sprint, see if I can't sort of wrap up this chapter and get them in the direction they need to be going, and then break for lunch. And sometimes I do have lunch and work at the same time. It is a habit I would like to stop because it's not great and I deserve breaks, you know? So probably gonna do one more sprint, take a break, and then have food. But we'll see. And while I have food, not work. But we'll see. Expected the framing to be good in this video? No, not really. I am now down in my second sprint. It was also a 15-minute sprint. And the interesting thing is that this sprint felt a lot better. I feel like a lot more things happened. I have more of a direction. The actions of the characters matter and it drives the story forwards. And I felt like this was a lot better than the first 15-minute sprint. And despite that, I only got 804 words, so 31 words less than in the previous sprint. That's interesting to me because this did feel a lot better. I have, however, not reached the end of this chapter and I sort of think I'm about to, but maybe not. So I'm going to set a timer for 20 minutes. I'm going to do a bit of a longer sprint now, just 5 minutes, but a little longer. Set a timer for 20 minutes and see if I can't wrap up this chapter, and if I do, I will start the next chapter in the same sprint if I have time left. Otherwise, I will perhaps do another sprint until I'm done with this chapter, or I'll take my lunch break then. But at least one more sprint, and that one is going to be 20 minutes. So I'm back. I actually ended up doing 2 sprints. I did a 20-minute sprint, and then I wasn't quite done with the chapter, and so I did another 5 minutes. And wow. So the 20-minute sprint gave me 1,145 words and the 5-minute sprint gave me 368 words. What's going on? I've now wrapped up chapter 7 and bumped a thing from chapter 8 into chapter 7 and written that as well. And I'm just now about to get started on chapter 8. But first I will have my lunch. I am really surprised that it's gone this well. Like, really surprised. All in all, I've been sitting here for just over an hour. I started my first sprint at 12:44 and I wrapped up my last one at 1:47. So just over an hour, 3,152 words. Damn. I'm going to break now and have my lunch and take a proper break and hopefully not lose momentum. But I'll let you know when I'm getting started again or once I've already gotten started, because maybe I'm going to dive right into a sprint before I update you next. But so far, so good. Alright, so I'm back now. I've had my lunch, which was some chicken pasta. Chicken and leek and onion and sugar snaps and garlic and cream and all good things. With some pasta, which was really, really good, and caught up on a little bit of YouTube. And it's been about an hour now. I have just closed the laptop to put the camera on it, and my phone is charging over there. But it's been about an hour, a little over an hour, and I'm ready to get back into it. However, I realized while I was eating that I have made a slight mistake with my outline, and that is that I was working on chapter 7 and then said I was going to move on into chapter 8, and that some things from chapter 8 has sort of moved up into chapter 7. That's not the whole problem. The problem is that all of chapter 8 actually has moved over into chapter 7 because of how this is formatted. This last square, I don't know if you can see that, this bit is essentially chapter 8. There's one word on the following page that belongs to chapter 8, and then we move on into chapter 9, which is a lot longer. This is a bit of a setback. On the other hand, the chapter that I just wrote ended up being over 4,000 words, and my chapters tend to be somewhere between 1,500 and maybe 3,000 words. So I do think that when I am revising this, could split this up and put it as 2 separate chapters, maybe make, a pretty distinctive break, but just split it into 2. I think that could work. So we'll see if I look into that today. Otherwise, I'm just going to start on chapter 9, actually, and deal with that later, because everything that needed to happen in chapter 8 has already happened. It's just currently sitting in chapter 7. So there's no point in me doing anything in what I have set aside as chapter 8, because chapter 8 doesn't exist. I mean, it exists, but it exists in chapter 7. But I'm going to keep writing now. It is a little bit before 3, just about 3 o'clock, and the sun is going down because it's still winter, and it's also stormy outside, which means it's just darker in general. So the lighting will start changing. This clip is a good indication of that. And yeah. Should I aim to be done with my 10K at 5? That's a bit ambitious, because there's always the risk that my pace will slow down a bit the further into the day I get. But I don't know what I'm aiming for. I'm still aiming for 15,000 today, because of course I'm aiming for the stretch goal. Have you met me? I'm a bit of an overachiever, and when I say that, I'm not so much an overachiever as I'm a bit crazy. So let's get back into writing, let's write some words, and see where the hour takes me and where the rest of the day takes me. My first 15 minutes post-lunch are up. Is up. My first 15-minute sprint after lunch is, and my first 15 minutes are English. I wrote 887 words in those 15 minutes, which I'm really happy with. I've just now introduced a new character, though, that I didn't know we were going to get to meet, but apparently my story needs more characters. She's not going to be frequent. We're not going to see her a lot more, but the original group is splitting up into, 2 and 2, and she's gonna whisk away the non-POV group. So, going pretty well. Going strong. Happy. Cold. I don't know if you can see my goosebumps, but I sure have goosebumps. So I'm gonna go get a cardigan and then continue. Thinking I might want to do a longer sprint. The 20-minute one went pretty well. Not that this 15-minute one didn't go well, but kind of feeling like I want to make them longer. Might even go for a half an hour one. We'll see. But it's going really well. It is now 3:45 and I ended up doing a 20-minute sprint, during which I ended up getting 1,130 words, so 15 words less than I got during the previous 20-minute sprint today. So in a way, maybe I'm slowing down, but 15 words is not really enough to base that assumption on or statistic on. And second of all, the 15-minute sprint I had just before that was my wordiest 15-minute sprint so far today. So don't really have enough data to figure that out right now. But things are happening. Things are progressing. I have now written over 5,000 words today, which you can see in the corner down below, most likely, if I've been updating this well. So halfway there if my goal is 10,000 for the day, and a third of the way there if my goal is 15,000. Now, like I said, it is 3:43 or a little bit after that, 3:45, and so it's been 3 hours between my first sprint starting and this sprint ending, and again I've had lunch in between, so pretty pleased with that actually. Now I'm gonna do my exercises. I am still recovering from my foot surgery. Hopefully by the time you see this I will be further along, but right now I still need to do my foot exercises. So I guess my next tip is to get off your chair and move around a little bit. Now, I got some moving around when I went to grab lunch, but just stretching a little bit or whatever it is that your body needs. I need to work on my foot, so I have some exercises I'm going to do, and then I'm going to get back to it. But stretch or something like that, highly recommend. It is now 7:30, the sun has completely gone down, it is definitely evening, but I've done 2 more sprints. I did a 25-minute one and then a 30-minute one, and I took a longer break between those 2 than I have, and I can definitely tell that I'm getting tired, I'm getting a little bit sick of just staring at the screen and typing. But during the 25-minute sprint, I got 1,315 words, and during the 30-minute sprint, I got 1,697 words. Like I said, it is 5:30, and I've written 8,181 words today, so doing all right. Now I should probably start on dinner in about half an hour. It's gonna take a while to cook tonight, so I'm thinking I'm gonna do a 15-minute sprint and a 10-minute sprint between now and then. I have a bit more time than that, but that allows me to take a break in between. So I'm gonna do a 15-minute sprint and then a 10-minute sprint right after, let you know how they went, and then go make food. I don't think they are enough to push me over the 10,000. It would be very nice if they did, but I really don't think so, because that means I have to write about 1,800 words over those 2 sprints. And I seem to be writing about 850 words in 15 minutes, so probably not going to happen. But hopefully I'll get to 9,000. That would be very nice. So I'm going to do those sprints now, let you know how it went, and then take a break to eat again, or make food at least, and then eat. It is now 6:04. I did do the 15-minute sprint and the 10-minute sprint. During the 15-minute one, I got 714 words, and during the 10-minute one, I got 585 words. So I did not make it to 10,000, which I also didn't think I was gonna do, but I have more than surpassed 9,000. I have 9,480 words, so I'm 20 words off from 9,500 words, which is just incredible. I started my first sprint at 12:44 and it's now 6:04. We'll see if I can be bothered enough to put the actual time spent writing on the screen right now or not, but really proud of myself. I'm still tired. I feel like I'm a little bit getting back into it. It's being writing, not tiredness, and I'm gonna break now to make dinner, so maybe that's gonna be my downfall, but I definitely think I can get, 520 words and get to the 10k, and after that I only need another 5k. Only. Oh dear. But I'm gonna break now for food. Alyssa has just started sneaking and reading some emails that she probably shouldn't read, which was not actually part of the outline, so I'm gonna see what she finds, because she's probably gonna find something, good or bad, useful or not useful, but I need to figure out what she's gonna find. So maybe I'll do that while I cook, or I'll do that when I do my next sprint. Okay, so let's talk for a second. It is now 8:39 in the evening, so it's been a little over 2.5 hours since I last updated you. I had forgotten that we didn't have everything for dinner, so we made a different dinner, and when I say we, I mean that Marcus made dinner and I just took a break. So that was all fun and good. During that time though, I had this feeling of, there are a lot of things that don't quite click with the story, or that I haven't really thought about, or I've sort of diverged from the outline and done something else, and so on and so forth. And I had this is there even a point to writing this? Which I get that a lot, but I had that feeling and I was like, no, but of course there are holes and issues and you know, obstacles with it because it's a first draft. And I always need to remind myself of that, which is, it's just how I work. So I had that little realization that yes, this is rough. Yes, there are issues. Yes, it's not complete. But that's fine. And then I looked up how many words I currently have in my document, and I think I have 26,334 words at this point. And I was like, I only have 26,000 words? And then I had to take a step back and just be like, wait. You don't only have 26,000 words in your document. You've written 26,000 words of this book since late in December. I believe I've written about 23,000 of these words on this side of New Year's, so that's pretty impressive. And I just had to remind myself to be nicer to myself, to not be as hard on myself. And this is something that happens. This is something that I deal with. But that was just a realization I had, and then it was time for dinner. And then I took a longer break than I maybe intended to. I took a longer break than I intended to, for sure. And now, like I said, it's about 20 to 9, and I kind of wanted to be done at 9. I do not think that I will write over 5,000 words in the next 20 minutes. I might, however, be able to hit the 10K in 20 minutes, or a little under 20 minutes, because I have 520 words, was it, left to write? So that should not be impossible. So I'm thinking I'm going to do a 15-minute sprint and see if I can't get that done. And then decide, do I push for the 5,000, which will probably take me another 2 hours or so to get to, which means 11, which means late. Or do I settle for the 10K and realize that that's my limitation for today? That's another thing I have to deal with, realizing my limitations. But I've had my dinner. I've also grabbed ice cream. And this looks like a lot of ice cream, but there's only that much left. Only that much left. This is homemade ice cream that Marcus, made the other day. And all that's left is mine. So I'm going to have that. But again, I'm going to do a 15-minute sprint and then see if I pass 10K in that. I should be able to pass 10K in that. And then let you know. I kind of want to go for the 15, but I also think that maybe I shouldn't. So let's see how I feel after these 15 minutes and if I feel motivated and inspired and eager to keep going after that. The 15 minutes are up and I wrote 856 words in them. So, you know, pretty good. I'm really, really happy with what I wrote, actually, and it's, again, set things in motion, things that I maybe don't know exactly how I'm gonna finalize or how like, exactly where they're gonna lead, but at least these things are important for the big reveal, the big climax at the end. This sort of a little bit foreshadows that, I want to say. I have, however, decided to stop for the day. I think that's the responsible thing to do. Even though I right now feel like, oh, I want to continue. I think the responsible thing is to take a break. There are some just pure relaxing things I want to do. And I hate that my mind went, oh, I can not write more and instead edit this vlog. No, this vlog isn't going up for another, I don't know, like 6 weeks, 8 weeks. So no, I'm actually going to just sit back, relax and enjoy some YouTube. And my ice cream, which I had like 1 spoonful of this entire time. But I want to say a huge thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please let me know so in the comments down below, and maybe consider subscribing, because I write words and talk about it, so what's not to like? I might put some stats on the screen right now for how I did overall, but yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll be back with another video soon, so I'll see you then. Bye!